Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey here on the Mark Out Movie Podcast. And what are we doing today, Aaron?
Well, they cloned Tyrone.
I thought he was going to change it on me like at the literally last second. It's like, well, I didn't watch that.
No, they cloned Tyrone. It's a movie that's on Netflix starring John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, and I forget the lady's name. I keep doing that. She's you might know her from WandaVision. She's Monica Rambeau,
Oh,
who's
okay.
going to be in the new Marvels movies. The Marvels with the other Marvel ladies.
She looks
Yanessa
different.
maybe. I can't see her name from there. Anyway,
No, I can't either.
yeah.
No,
Let me
sir.
see. I'll look her up. But
And
let's
while he's
see.
looking her up, I'll go ahead and tell you who else was in this movie.
Yeah, who
Good
makes the
old,
surprise?
good old 80s icon, Kiefer Sutherland.
Hey,
Most of you may know.
You
Go
know
ahead.
what? I had no idea. I had no idea he was going to be in the movie. Like I didn't. I don't remember seeing his name at all. Uh, and so when he pops up, I'm like, Kiefer. I was like, I popped. I marked out for sure. I'm like Kiefer Sutherland. Like
Yeah.
if it's not Kevin Bacon, man, at least I got some Kiefer. And that's something that you brought up, and I think it's going to be a funny thing. Her name, uh, Tiana Paris. She played Yo Yo. The So you have a what do you do when you have a pimp, a drug dealer, and a prostitute solving
Oh,
the
that's what he's going to
mystery?
call her. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to call her a lady, a worker of the streets, the oldest profession, if you will.
If you will.
Uh, hey man, so yeah, man. First of all, let's see. They cloned Tyrone. Um, what can I say about this movie? I, First of all, let me just get this out of the way. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Uh, I thought it's gonna go one point. Uh, Isaiah, what's up, Isaiah?
He's laughing
Spivey.
about something. Yes, it's
He's
my nephew.
Yeah, he's probably laughing about I
A
don't know
prostitute.
yeah, the worker of the streets, the street uh, escort.
I mean, I want to be Godfather right now so bad.
Are you gonna make me an offer I can't refuse? Is that what you mean?
All aboard the whole train.
Oh, you meant that Godfather.
What?
You.
Seriously?
I was
Seriously?
thinking I went Marlon Brando. I'm
I
sorry.
go wrestling and you don't get it.
You go wrestling and I go Marlon Brando. What can you say? Anyway, first of all, uh,
Can't work with this guy.
like I tell you, man, it starts with. Um, so, what did you think about the conversation? So, it starts with a picture of like a white man's face looking at, like pretty much like watching a conversation between some brothers in front of a store talking about, yeah, man, they cloned Tupac and Michael Jackson. Yeah, and he was working at the Piggly Wiggly, but now he's white, yeah, something like that, or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, but it all is connected. I love that. But but yeah, then you met Junebug. What do you think about the relationship between Junebug and Fontaine?
It was an interesting start. Because I was like, because I didn't read what this was about. I just saw the title. They cloned Tyrone. I was like, what is this? So I knew nothing really what this movie was about. So I was like, oh, this is going to be Aaron picked another, well, not another, but he picked a gangster movie, like
Well,
Boys
because
in the Hood.
it's because his name was it's because his name was Tyrone.
No, 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 just how it starts.
Oh, okay.
Because, I thought we was getting like an updated version of Boys in the Hood or something. And I had no idea of course, the title didn't make any sense to what the presentation was at the beginning. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the relationship.
I love to see this white dude explaining.
I didn't think that he was his son. Though. I thought it was like his little brother.
Yeah, that's what I kind of thought at first, but then I realized he wasn't. He's just like this kid that kind of gives him the scoop of what like his eyes and ears on what people are doing, where they're hanging out. But Tyrone, we get introduced to him. He's pressing weights. John Boyega looking kind of swole. Uh, fresh off of the Woman King from last year, and Break. Or I don't know. I didn't see that movie. Whatever it's called, the one where with the bank or whatever. I don't know.
I didn't get to see that one either.
But yeah, man. First of all, let me talk about John Boyega as Fontaine. I thought he did an excellent job as his character. I've always liked him as an actor. I liked him ever since like Attack the Block back when he was like a teenager. His like little debut time frame, and I didn't realize from that movie Attack the Block to like that Star Wars movie. When that first of the trilogy of the new ones or whatever, I didn't know that this was the same guy from Attack the Block. From Attack the Block, I seen Attack the Block a long time ago, and so it didn't dawn on me that it was the same guy from there until like one day I was like, oh, that's him. So yeah, but no, I think that he's a great actor. I think that
Detroit too. I'm pretty sure he's in that too. Detroit.
Oh yeah, I've never seen that one. I've never seen it.
It's intense.
Yeah,
it really is. It's really intense. He's also in Pacific Rim Uprising. He doesn't choose sometimes the best films, but
yeah, no, he doesn't. But I'm glad now it seems like he's choosing better films. Like I think this was a great choice. And another person I wanted to talk about is Jamie Foxx. I think Jamie Foxx is so good. You miss when you don't have Jamie. You don't realize that you miss Jamie until you have Jamie. You're like, I miss Jamie, and I think that Jamie Foxx was excellent. Matthew, hey, Aaron and Brandon, I read that John Boyega may return to Star Wars in a new movie featuring Rey. We would hope not, because I don't want. I think they tainted Star Wars. I'm saying that they tainted Star Wars with the last couple of films. Ryan Johnson one, and then the other one wasn't bad, but at that point it's kind of hard to fix it. That's what maybe the Ryan Johnson Star Wars film will grow on me. Hey, what's up, Bilfer? But it hasn't as of yet. So, kind of like how I feel about Halloween. I feel like the dude killed it with the last.
He's about
Halloween
to kill the Exorcist for the Exorcist fans.
Yeah, I'm not watching trailers and stuff. I'm gonna try to give him the benefit of the doubt and watch it, but he didn't please me with Halloween. So I don't think that he's gonna do really good with this. I don't know, just me, but yeah. What were your thoughts on Jamie Foxx in this movie? And
Jamie's my favorite part. Honestly, I thought the way he plays the pimp.
Slick. What's the name? Slick Charles.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Slick Charles.
Yeah, I didn't really catch it. The name didn't, imprint into my brain, but his performance was phenomenal. I thought he played a fun, loving, wanted to be taken serious pimp, but he has this other guy. What's his name?
John Slick Charles. Fontaine.
Okay. Yeah, he's so serious. He means business. And when he enters the room, he just means business.
He's like deadpan, yeah.
Yeah, it's like so I thought he did a good job though. I love when they work they're in the scenes together. I think that it just works so well.
What were your thoughts on Yo-Yo? Tiana Paris.
Yeah, the prostitute.
The lady with the heart of gold who happens to have a profession in the streets.
She just wants to get to Memphis, man.
Huh? She wants to go to Memphis.
She
Who
wants to
can
go to
wait?
Memphis so bad.
Yeah, and like
No,
I
I
didn't
thought
know.
she was good though. I thought she was good. A little bit of the comic relief, a little bit at times. I thought she was good. I just kept laughing every time she mentioned. I'm just trying to get to Memphis. I'm retired. I'm going to
Yeah.
Memphis.
Uh, now, so we start with Fontaine, and he goes. This is spoilers for the Clone Tyrone. If you haven't watched this on Netflix, go enjoy it. You can come back and watch this later. Uh, but we're gonna spoil it. Fontaine finds out that a rival drug dealer is pretty much set up on his shop, set up in his little area. So he hits him with the car, and he says, "Man, you jumped in front of my car, man, or you hit my car, man." He said, "Man, you broke my leg." And then he just like disarms him and tells him, "Hey, man, tell Simon stop, selling in my neighborhood or whatever." Uh, and that later comes back to uh, I like how Simon was like, he's like, "Man, we're gonna ride them, right?" So yeah, I got you. And then he's like, "Man, I can't even have a day off, or I can't have a day to just a moment to myself to just
Yeah,
relax." Like even a drug dealer just wants to have an off day. I love that, man. It's just like I love just what I loved about this movie. It felt like a real town. um, it gave me vibes of a real town, and for me, it reminded me a lot of Atlanta. I love the show Atlanta. It kind of gave me Atlanta vibes. Um, I know people are comparing it to like Get Out or Us, but I think they can't like in a sense of the bigger scale of things.
yeah, I kind of get that. I compare it to that movie that came to Netflix last year with Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. It was The Mind Control.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It was about white people.
Yeah, I
But
guess
no,
that's
no,
why I didn't see it.
it was bad. Chris Hemsworth was kind of controlling everybody's minds, you know. And that one scene when they're finding out everything, it really reminded me of that movie. I forget what it's called. It was forgettable, but that's what it kind of reminded me of, but a much better version.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And I think also somebody make a point that it kind of has nods to other little black exploitation type of films where there's like they mentioned I'm gonna get you sucker Hollywood Shuffle. They mentioned uh let's see what is it? They actually mentioned someone mentioned Pootie Tang and someone mentioned Undercover Brother and Black Dynamite in the sense of like with I'm gonna get you sucker because that was like a black exploitation like homage parody type of thing. This one kind of has a feeling of a black exploitation film, but it wasn't comical like spoofy.
mm-hmm.
It was like set in like reality of sorts. Um, and as far as Pootie Tang, Biddy reminds me of Biggie Shorty all day long. I know you ain't never seen it, but Biggie Shorty is
Nope.
Wanda Sykes, and she wears like pink hair, and she's like a hooker, and she's always with the information and stuff. Biddy remind me straight up of Biggie Shorty, uh, and I thought they was gonna call it Biggie Shorty actually, but they called it Biddy. I'm like, that's close enough. Um, but yeah, some other stuff. Undercover Brother, the chicken. It's General's chicken. This is goddamn chicken. The hot box chicken.
You had to go with the chicken.
Oh man, the
I knew
chicken
you would. Once I saw the chicken come into play, oh, this is, Aaron's gonna be all over
is
this.
because well, it had chicken, and it's a key. They tamper with the food, man. That's how they do mind control. You got to
Yeah.
learn these things. No, but so Fontaine uh, meets his ultimate demise, unfortunately. Uh, one night, and then when he let's see what Matthew says. I've read a dude's Barbie. Oh Lord, Barbie. I didn't watch it. Mattel would be making movies or their other properties. Polly Pocket. Why would anyone want that? Hot Wheels, maybe. Magic 8 Ball. I don't understand unless it's a horror movie and Magic 8 Ball is getting people to kill each other. Barney, that should be horror. Would you be oriented to adult themes? unless Barney is like a imaginary animal that's causing kids to with love to murder people, that would be pretty dope.
I think it's going to be Denzel's son playing Barney. I think I read it somewhere. Yeah, what's his name? I can't, didn't no, I can't even think of his name. I know the
David
last
John,
name.
John David
I think
John.
so. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read
See,
it somewhere.
he hasn't done enough for me to remember his name, other
Me
than
either,
Denzel's son.
apparently.
Other than Denzel's son, I mean, and that's honest. And hey, I would say this to John David Washington, if that's his name. Pick better roles. Don't play Barney. Pick better
I don't
roles.
know. It could be something big for him.
Could you see a young Denzel saying, "Yes, I will take this role"? Although he did in that one where he his heart was donated to like a racist cop, and
Heart
he was
condition, right?
and he was like attached to him. But that was fun. That was fun. That's 80s. Back
I
in there,
mean,
you can do things like that because it's the 80s.
I
It's
mean,
a wild time. There's cocaine.
Denzel's like one of the top 5 actors of all time, though. John David's not, and never will be, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not nothing against him. It's just he's not his dad.
Hey, let me ask you this: with the top 5 actors of all time, do you put Chadwick in that? Is he in that top 5?
I don't think so. Top 10. I wouldn't put him top 5.
He'd be in the top 10.
Although
I think had he
short
lived,
careers, I would say he's probably the best of anybody I've seen that had a really well.
yeah, I agree.
Him and
Even
Heath. Him and Heath.
him and Heath, and then James Dean. Those are the only 3 that I can
I've
really think
actually
of.
never seen a James Dean movie.
I've seen.
As sad as it is.
He's only did like
3, right?
3, yeah. But and I've seen 2 out of the 3. I never seen. I seen East of Eden. I seen Rebel Without a Cause. I don't think I've ever seen Giant. Never seen Giant. So, but anyway, get back to Tyrone. Now, he's getting cloned. So he wakes up, and it's a new day, and this is the part, Brandon, that I thought we were gonna have like a Groundhog Day type of
I
thing
thought the
going on.
same.
Like, is that what you? Is it like
Yeah.
immediately? I was like, oh, is this gonna be like Groundhog Day? That's my immediate thought.
Yeah, or a Happy Death Day that he keeps on getting killed. Uh, but I don't know. I was like, okay, this movie's taking a turn. It's like,
How would you feel if it would have been that? Like,
I don't know, I think I would have been fine with either direction they took because the characters were riveting to me. So I was invested in the characters. I was along for the ride wherever they were going.
yeah.
I would have been good with it.
Yeah, if it would have been that, I kind of got like, I was like, ooh, okay. I'm like, I was like, cause I love that concept of time travel and anything like that, and so I'm like in loops, and I'm like, oh man, that'd be kind of cool. But then the moment that like you thought it is that until first of all, also in this, he is talking to his mother through a door, but we never see her. We just hear her say, "That's okay, baby. I've already ate, or I'm watching my stories." So you hear her, but you never see her. But he realized that he needs to go get the money from Slick Charles, Jamie Foxx, and Jamie Foxx said, "Jesus, you sending a ghost to a pimp." I'm like,
yeah.
oh,
Yeah, I
man.
believe. Now, let me ask you a question though. What time frame did you think this was?
I think it's ambiguous. I think it felt like it could be the 70s, but I also feel like it's the 2000s or even the 90s because the technology is flip phones. Everybody has flip phones. The TVs are the fat box TVs, but they mention Bitcoin and and Obama. So it's
And Bloodsport was playing on the TV in the hotel room. I was like,
no, it wasn't a hotel room. So it was so it's a trap house.
I was a trap house. Okay.
Yeah, so in the trap house where the drugs usually happen, they have a break room, which is a funny concept that is taking a break at a trap house. but yeah, Bloodsport, and I thought immediately Brandon is gonna pop for Bloodsport.
I did pop. I was like, what time frame is this movie though? It's like I was so confused. The only
You're
thing I
tearing me
remember,
apart.
the only what?
Yeah. The only thing you remember from Rebel Without Cause is you're tearing me apart. Also, would you be willing to review The Room or James Franco's Disaster Artist? I would be willing to do that one
Ooh,
day. I've never
ooh.
seen either of those. I know that
Disaster Artist is actually really good.
I've never seen any of those. I'm aware of them through just like meme culture. But yeah, but yeah. So he realized that like Jamie Foxx was like, man, why are you? How are you even here? You should be
Yeah.
like breathing at best through a tube somewhere. You know, like like I love that. And I was like, when he said that, I'm like, wait, is it? My first thought is he a ghost? And I'm trying to think, has anyone else interacted with this guy like after this process?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I was wondering, what's going on? And that would have been actually a really cool concept too if it went the way of he's a ghost. he's a hood. He's a ghost in the hood that's trying to like figure out who killed him. And that's what I thought it was going to be like. But
That's an
yeah,
idea right there. Ghost in the Hood, the
I'll watch it.
spiritual sequel to Boys in the Hood. I don't remember his name that died at the end, but
Ricky, Ricky.
Ricky, have Ricky's
See,
ghost.
see, black
Morse
folks.
Chestnut. I
We
remember the
all
actor.
we every black person that lives that has a card. We all have a card. We know Ricky. We know Ricky. We know Boys in the Hood. They might not even know, but they know Ricky. It's just something we know. Anyway,
It's a
we
great
have
film.
we
It's
have
probably
classes of
my,
it.
it's probably
John
my favorite.
Singleton is one of the best directors of all time. Honestly,
John Singleton. Is that what you said?
John Singleton. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he's a very underrated director.
yeah,
I don't think he gets the recognition he deserves.
yeah. He's
The
dead
films
now,
that I've
so
seen.
yeah,
I mean, he should still get recognition. I mean,
yeah. I
for what
agree.
I mean, they still give
Hold
Wes
up.
Craven some, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
or
At least,
Alfred Hitchcock. I mean,
yeah.
they still praise these people, but you don't ever hear his name really, but
Mm-mm.
under the mainstream, what he did for black culture, you don't hear it.
Yeah. Not only that, just filmed like he started. We'll get back to this, but he started the Hood movie with Boys in the Hood, but it wasn't a stereotypical Hood movie. It had you fell in love with the characters. You fell in love with all
Mm-hmm.
the characters. Doughboy, Ricky, uh, Trey. I think his name was Trey. I forget it. I think it's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character's name. I
Yeah, I
think it's
think that
Trey.
was his name.
But you just and then Furious Styles. You just like love the characters and you love the environment. You wanted to explore it with them, and he made and when Ricky's death happens, you feel it. You feel it because you have fallen in love with this character through this film, and you feel everything that everybody else is feeling, and it's one of the best parts of the movie. No music, it's just us chilling. I think about it, but yeah, John Singleton, man, doesn't get the love like you said he deserves for his work. So yeah, and then you have other movies, but none of them is like everybody try to emulate Boys in the Hood, and I'm looking at you, Minister Society, but they couldn't captivate. They couldn't capitalize on. They
I
couldn't
loved that
do it.
movie as a kid, but
Boys, Menace.
mm-hmm.
Okay,
I really did. I loved it as a kid, but I rewatched it as an adult. It just came off really cheap.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, but this movie I love that like when Jamie Foxx's character was like, "Man, you should go ask Yo Yo. She's seen it. She heard it. She's outside when it happened. Because he didn't believe that he got killed. But
Yeah,
he's like, all right, we're riding. Come on." And they went and found her. This is my favorite line. It's so subtle. So she's with a John, and the John is asking her for. She says, "For $50, I can't give you a David Carradine. I can do a Susan Sarandon or Shalimar." I love that. I love that. Like I don't like David Carradine. Obviously, was an actor who died
yeah.
asphyxiated
I
with
know
his
what
pants.
that is.
You know
I
what
don't.
you know how he died
I
with
know how
David.
he died, so I know what the David Carradine is. I
But
don't have a clue what Susan Sarandon
what's
is.
the Susan Sarandon? I
I
know
have
who
no
she is,
idea.
but I'm curious to know what it is. And then they say Shalimar, and I looked it up. Shalimar is a group in the '80s that was like two men and one woman. So do with that as you will. Uh, but yeah, but I love that there's, and I didn't realize this is the adventure we was gonna get. I didn't realize it's gonna be the three of them kind of exploring together. But
Yeah,
once I realized that's what it is, I'm like, I'm there for it. I actually like the chemistry of all three of them together. I think they did well with one another. What was your thoughts on that?
yeah, I thought they did really well. You know, I think Jamie though, he just steals everything he's in.
He did. I
In
agree.
this one, in this movie at least, he just steals every scene. And but I do agree, they all three gelled well together. They brought something out of each other, which is what you're supposed to do. It's a team thing. So yeah, I agree with you. I mean, they were fun together.
Yeah, yeah. I think they were. I love the when they went down the elevator, and they found out that they are cloning, like Tyrone, not Tyrone, but we'll get that later. But Fontaine is a clone, and then that's some stuff he has to deal with, existential crisis. Like, am I even real? What
Yeah,
is going on? What? Who am I? And it reminded me a lot of AI, in the sense of like wrestling with who are you in the world. Not only that, just in the world, like you and I processing who we are, and then we wonder who are we in the scheme of everything. Why are we here? What are we here to do? And I think that kind of dealt with a lot of those questions that we ask, but in a sci-fi type of level. But these are questions we ask ourselves every day, just trying to figure out our purpose.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Yeah, it is a interesting concept though. Once you get to this part, and you're having all these questions as this character is. Am I real? What's really going on? What's happening? And as they investigate and they find the truth, it's mind blowing. You know that somebody is controlling them and cloning them. If one dies, we'll just pick them up off the street, take them back to the laboratory. Get the next one
And
ready.
reset
Yeah,
them. Like
yeah.
it's like a save point in video game. It reminded me of GTA, like San Andreas specifically. Like whenever you that character and you die and you lose all your everything, but then you start over where you were, like your little last little save point or whatever. It
Hmm.
reminded me of that in a sense. Um, but I love that. So they find out that they like, all right, man, we're not going to decide anything here. Let's let's go and eat some chicken because they see the commercial and they're like, let's go to and the chicken place is popping. People are laughing, eating. Kind of find out this powdery substance they put in the chicken to make us like like laughing and susceptible to suggestion. Uh, and it's just a crazy thing and then you can find out they put it in the perm and let them know straighter is greater and and that goes back to the concept of trying to make black women ashamed of their hair, black hair, and instead of wanting white hair, like straight hair with the perms
Yeah.
and things like that. They did that to guys too. Like, if you think about like a lot of the groups like Temptations, Four Tops, a lot of them had those Tony Curtises and those type of hairstyles that like white artists would have in order to try to cross over to white artists and be seen like more acceptable.
Hmm.
So it's like it has some really deep conversations in this movie. Without having those conversations, they have the deep conversations. But what was your thoughts on like this, and then also the church scene? What was your thoughts on the real quick? What was your thoughts on like the gangster dude? Simon, I guess his name, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll see." And like he has a gun. He's trying to have him look at his gun. And
Yeah.
he has that, it's just a little subtle thing. I thought that's so funny. What was your thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was funny. I can't remember what that scene reminded me of. It reminded me of something. Uh, Matthew just commented.
Oh, also, you know what it reminded me of? It put me in the mind of when I was watching. I was like, this is giving off They Live vibes. Um,
Yeah, a
hey,
little
Brandon,
bit. Yeah, yeah,
how was the movie
a
you
little bit.
saw at the theater when I saw you? I've been react. Okay, Brandon.
Okay, I saw Insidious. It was all right. And of course, Oppenheimer later that night. Yeah, that was great. That was probably the best film of the year.
I got a couple reasons why. I guess.
No, Aaron, it's not because of that. That
Okay,
would be your reason.
so I
Well,
like her though. She's a great actress. Continue.
but no, I thought Oppenheimer was really awesome. But as far as that
You
scene
says
you're talking,
you says for Robert Downey. You said he was really
oh
good.
Robert, yeah, I think he'll at least be nominated for best supporting actor. I think he should win. I actually think he did a better job than Cillian Murphy, who will no doubt win best actor. And I was actually impressed with Josh Hartnett as well in his little role he had. I mean, kudos for Josh getting
Yeah,
a resurgence. You know,
yeah.
I mean,
I'm
honestly,
glad we
yeah.
need him. We don't have Heath. We don't have Heath. We at least have Josh Hartnett, so it's good to.
I never thought he was
I,
that good of an actor, though.
yeah, he wasn't on the level of a Heath, but I thought he was. I liked him in a couple of things, but that's the thing. He never put butts in the seat for me, like his shows,
No,
like or movies, never really made me. But he was really good in O. He was very believable. He made me hate him, so I knew he was a good actor. But I still hold that against him because he did such a great job that I don't like him because he did such a great job, and that's his fault. He shouldn't have been such a good actor. He should have phoned it in. Uh, but your fault, Josh Hartnett. But yeah, as far as hey, David Allen Greer pops up as the preacher. Did you know that David Allen Greer?
I had no idea. I saw him in the credits, but I was like, I must have missed him because I didn't see him. Yeah, the church sequence it was interesting. Now is that like I have never been to a black church in my life, so I don't know what it's like. I always
Yeah,
hear good things though. I remember
it's kind
Brother
of like
Jamie
that.
Wesley though. He was a preacher. I can't remember which state he was in. He would come down for our church meetings, and he would light the place on fire. He was always my favorite preacher to listen to when he would come down. So I know what he's like, but as far as the whole church, I've never experienced that. Was it is it similar to what is in the
Yeah,
movie?
very similar to that. Where Tyrone at? Well, uh, he's in Compton. We find that out later. But yeah, but he has been cloned. Um, but yeah, man, I think that I thought it was really good seeing David Allen Greer. It's just like it's always good to see David Allen and Allen Greer and Jamie Foxx was even though they didn't interact with one another, it's like an in living color reunion because both of them was on that show.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of cool just to see that. Uh, man, I love when they went to the underground. I love when they went to the underground lair after the church closed, and they found out. I wish they should have had another scene in between there. I felt like it was a jump cut with them going straight to the church when it's closed and searching. You know, um,
Yeah.
that's my biggest criticism is that. But yeah, I thought that the underground stuff was really cool. Like, kind of find out we kind of find out that the white people that we see with afros are like the prototypes of the assimilation of the clones, assimilations of black people becoming white, but they couldn't get the hair right, so the froze still. So that tells me that Art Garfunkel Any white dude that you know with a fro was at one point a black man. That's all I'm saying. It means like Bob Ross was a black man, and it explains so much. Explains so much. I'm just playing, but Bob Ross is a black man. Um, but yeah, no. What were your thoughts on like the underground thing? And did you get like uh us vibes at all, or
I mean, I didn't think of us, but I can see that now. Like, yeah, they definitely got Jordan Peele vibes. You know, he was an inspiration clearly.
Mhm.
But I get more of the Get Out, comparison really because it's white people trying to control everything. I mean, poor white. I mean, it just
Wait a minute? Uh, Go ahead, keep talking, Brandon.
all right, all right. But yeah, it was just it was an interesting concept, there with the white people trying to control the blacks and cloning them and all that. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I got more Get Out vibes from it. But I will say this, when Kiefer shows up, and it's like it's a big moment when he shows up, and he's controlling everybody's mind. Uh, I mean, every single one, and he's making John point the gun at oh, you're back. I was
Yeah,
just telling about Kiefer's cameo basically. Well, he's got like two scenes, but how he was controlling their minds. You remember
yeah.
that?
Well, Kiefer. Yeah. So Olympia Black is the word that he used to
Yeah.
have the mind control. First of all, Kiefer Sutherland popping up. Let's give it, man. This dude, he's so I don't know. He's not my like. First of all, they mentioned Kevin Bacon in Hollow Man, which is yes A plus. And she and Yo Yo said, "Yeah, I'm the one who showed you that movie." He like, "Yeah, that is." She loves her movies, by the way. It seems, uh, but uh, but yeah, they mentioned Hollow Man, and then like when he shows up, they like, "Oh, so you Kevin Bacon?" And he's like, he kind of had a look on his face like, "What?" But I love that, and it didn't dawn on me the Flatliners movie when they said it, and I know I'm pretty sure him and Kevin's like really great friends, but I know that's got to be and who knows, that's probably something he actually gets in real life. Like people probably say, "Hey, aren't you Kevin Bacon?" And they probably do the same for Kevin. Well, aren't you Kiefer Sutherland? But yeah, I love that. What were your thoughts on just seeing him in the movie?
I was just seeing him again. I mean, it's been a while, so I'm a big Kiefer fan. Obviously, he's he's my favorite vampire of all time. But Young Guns also, and plus what he does is 24 is Jack Bauer. I mean, I love Kiefer. So
And he's clearly and he's easily one of the best standouts in Stand By Me,
yeah,
uh, for
yeah,
sure. Way back when we reviewed that movie, but yeah,
yeah. I thought it was just great to see him. Like, oh, he's because I knew he kind of took a break from acting when Designated Survivor got canceled. So I hadn't really seen anything he's done. I know he did like a little show for Apple or something, but uh, I was just great to see him, and I loved his performance too because it's small, but your eyes are glued to him.
yeah, absolutely. When he's on screen, you are not looking away. Like it's just like it took me a moment just to register that Kiefer. And I was immediately like literally, that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen and doing that.
Yeah,
It was me yesterday. I'm like, Kiefer Sutherland, and I was just like this the whole time, like, oh man, Kiefer is in the movie. And then like when they mentioned Bacon, I'm like, you just in the movie now. That's great. Just like that reference. Uh, but man, Matthew is saying I watched Kiefer Sutherland in 1993 version, Disney version of the Three Musketeers. Yeah, I
it's a
forgot
good
about that
film
movie.
with
I
Charlie
like
Sheen.
one of his best films that people don't really talk about is what's that Freeway with Reese Witherspoon, and
Yeah,
he's like this uh, serial killing pedophile uh, guy, and uh, and and
he's
it's
played
like
it all.
yeah, and it's like the reimagining of the Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. It's just kind of a reimagining of that. He's so good. He's in A Time to Kill
Hmm.
Matthew McConaughey and Samuel Jackson. He played like one of the racist good old boys, and
He
he
came
was
off
so
like one too.
believable, so
Yes.
believable. And this dude's Canadian, and I believed in my heart he was a Southerner, and he didn't like me. That's how good he was. That's how good he was in that movie. Yeah. So yeah, he
He's played some really nasty people. The most
did.
nasty person I've ever seen him play was an Eye for an Eye when he played that rapist that rapes Sally Field's daughter and murders her.
It was him. Oh
Yeah,
man,
I
yeah.
was like, that's not the Kiefer I know. It scared me, like, because I'm a big fan of his, and he's doing this on screen. I was like a kid at the time. I was like, that's not Kiefer. That's. And but he is so good at playing nasty, villainous characters.
And then when you see him pop up in in 24 as Jack Bauer,
Oh yeah.
he just reinvents himself as like a very believable badass, like a very believable
Hmm.
good guy. And then like it makes you wonder like why didn't this guy like I guess his trajectory went more way of television and small screen.
Yeah.
But he could have very easily been Bruce Willis and
Oh yeah.
like he could have very easily went that way, and
Or
because
Kevin Bacon.
or Kevin Bacon, and I say that because like he's one of those actors that he doesn't phone it in. If he gets the role, he's gonna give you 120%, and it looked like he was having fun with the movie with the role, and
Yeah.
so I love that. It just like that's what I loved about this movie, man. It's just like they had some stellar cast in this movie, and everybody was believable as their characters. What was your thoughts on once we reveal that um, once we reveal that Fontaine is behind everything as far as like the old Fontaine, OG
Yeah.
Fontaine, uh, the old man. What was
It's
your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings on it. Like it's cool to see, but why would he do this to his?
Old people.
Yeah, I mean, why?
Yeah,
I
and
never
that's
really understood his true reasoning for it. I was like, I didn't.
that's the one thing that bothers me is I don't understand. So his brother, real brother, did die, and he planted that memory in all his clones that they all have that similar story.
Yeah.
Uh, Also, man, real quick, when he realized that his mother was not there, that hurt me because losing my mom. It's just like the desire to just want her, to
Hmm.
need her. I need you, but you're not here. And but the thing is, for him, she's never been there because she was just a voice on a voice box. But he never seen her, and it never registered to him that I've never seen her. It's just like it's very Truman Show like because I wonder how many people has actually came left Glen at all. Has everybody been stuck in Glen and never really leaving Glen to go somewhere else? You know, it's just like like it's crazy. Um, but yeah, when he reveals that he did it because his brother got killed by the cops, but the way that he stops that from happening from anybody else was to have black people to eventually assimilate and become white, which is a real thing that has happened as far as like in Australia, the Aboriginals in Australia, the British people or the whites of Australia essentially wanted to breed out the Aboriginal blood, the black blood in them. So they took the kids, and married them off to white people, hoping that they would have children and that the black blood would eventually leave and would then kill off the Aboriginal population. That's a real thing. It's eugenics. The same thing that happens here in America with, like, dare I say, abortion clinics and everything like that, is eugenics. It came from Margaret Singer, who was like a eugenist who wanted to, like, uh, rip out the colored weed, is what she called us. So, you know, but for this man, he was thinking, well, the only way for us to survive is not just acting white, but becoming white. It's the only way they're not going to harm us again if we are them. And it's just a fractured mind that would think that thing,
Yeah.
because once you become the part of the problem, or not say, once you become, like, say, white or whatever, you lose your identity, or or your uniqueness that makes you you. Like, I don't want you to become all the way like black or something like that, because I love, because you and your perspective and where you came from and where you lived and what you went through is all for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I can, and if anything, is to educate me, who didn't come from the same place that you came from in the same circumstances, and same for me and you.
Yeah.
But our who we are is what unites us. Like, even if it's different, that's what unites us.
That's true. Yeah, I just wasn't really buying into what he was preaching at the end, and it just came off really crazy. It just honestly, and I didn't even know that it was the actual thing. Like that's insane to me. Like,
Hmm.
why would you want to be different than what God made you? You know, I mean, it's just I'm not gonna say anything else after that because I know
Well,
that
no,
goes to
no.
another topic. But
Well, it's the thing, like, because they mentioned Michael Jackson when
yeah,
they talk about him was black and becoming white, and that's what the joke we make. We realize, yes, he had vitiligo, and he did a lot of stuff because of vitiligo apparently, but we gotta also, can't just say it's vitiligo, because vitiligo didn't tell him, hey, let's make your nose thinner, or let's make your lips thinner, and to be less ethnic, to be less black. It was just something in his mind, and I'll say in his siblings' minds as well, because most of them has went that same route of thinning their nose and their lips and features to look more white. And I think that it comes from, maybe as children they were made fun of because of, hey, you got a big black nose, you got big lips, or something like that, and so they are probably self conscious about it, and so they feel like
yeah,
the need to hide it. Let's hide. The only way that they can hide it is to cut it away, to hide it, which is sad.
hmm
It's bullying and body dysmorph. I don't know if it's the term dysmorphia, but yeah. What were your thoughts on um, the cavalry, and who all they got to come to beat the bad guys?
it was interesting because he went to some enemies for help, and I liked the scene, but well, all of them coming together, but I love Jamie Foxx at the end. Like he's pointing his gun at, and he's pulling it back, and he's shooting, and it's nothing. He's got no bullets, And I'm like, it's a classic. It's his character, man. It's classic him. It's a
It,
pimp that's scared to death, and he's trying to be an alpha, and he's not. And I loved it, but I also
he
loved what he does at the end too. With and Kiefer's talking like he's about to kill them both, and he just kind of pops up behind Kiefer, blows his brains out.
Yeah.
I thought,
Like, I didn't even it didn't even dawn on me that the clone without the bullets was, well, it was a clone.
yeah,
It wasn't it wasn't the Slick that we know, the Jamie Foxx that we know, and we didn't know that. And
no,
so we think, oh man, he's about to kill him. I'm like, oh well, don't kill him, because I like him. But then, yeah, but she spun this tale of who he is. He's the slickest pimp there ever was. He's the pimp of the year in 1995, and he had the fair coats and the da 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 da. And he looks this way, he does this, and he has all the tricks. And so what they did is pretty much utilize what they turned what the culture and what white people or the society say that they are, and they turned it against them. So oh, you say that I'm a drug dealer, so it's gonna look like I'm making a drug deal with this guy, and he kills me. Oh, you say that I'm a hooker. Well, I mean, it's gonna look like I'm doing my job, but I'm really giving information. You know, it just like they utilize all their they utilize who they say they are
Yeah.
to get the victory. I love that. I love that they stormed the castle essentially, and dude was back in the control like, hey man, it tell them come on, bring that one girl, yeah, bring some food or whatever. But I love that. I love that. Like, yeah, we run this. Um, but yeah, so at the end, they defeat the bad guys, and then so our three heroes decide to go to Memphis. Oh, I
Finally
can't
get to
wait to
go to
see that
Memphis.
movie. I want to see that movie. I want to see uh the cloning people in Memphis. I don't know what it'd be called. But they cloned Elvis. No, no.
No, but I do think it has a franchise written all over this thing. Like I can see a sequel actually happening. I can see it be a whole big franchise for Netflix. Honestly,
Mhm.
which is, I mean, that's something they really do need. To that that's things that do well. They need to plot it out, think it out. But I could see this one being something.
Yeah, and then like they need to uh with your boy. Uh, what they do? They needed to uh like at the end of the show movie, we realized Tyrone is the clone that's in L.A. or Compton. You feel like it's Compton. I don't know where it's at. Uh, Somewhere in L.A. You realize that he sees his clone, and they're like, Tyrone, that looks just like you. That's where it is. They clone Tyrone. The title comes from that guy. He's Tyrone. Had nothing to do with the movie, but it sets up the movie title sets up the sequel without you even realizing it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a creative way to do things. I mean, I'm not gonna criticize it for that. I ain't gonna criticize it for anything, but it was a creative way to set up this movie. Like, it's called They Clone Tyrone, but you don't see a Tyrone till the very end.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is Fontaine's real first name Tyrone?
Yeah, I
Like,
thought, yeah, that's what I was thinking too while watching it.
yeah. But
But
all right, anything else you want to talk about of this movie before we give our marks?
no, no, I'm good.
Uh, yeah, I love you know, I love how he was ready to, he was done with it, but he decided to change because he realized that Junebug is not a clone, but to make life better for this kid, he has to step up and be a hero. He's
Yeah,
like a reluctant hero, but um, and they said to Yo Yo, the a prostitute ain't even worth you're not even worth cloning. So you're a dime a dozen, but she's very vital to the winning of this of them winning.
yeah.
But yeah. Um, all right, I'm gonna you go first.
All right, I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 on the markout meter.
Any
Yeah,
reason why?
I mean, it was just entertaining. It was riveting. It was a very fascinating concept. You didn't really know what if you didn't watch a trailer, didn't really watch any reviews of it. You just go in blind. It's each piece of the puzzle comes to you. It's really fascinating. So I really like that. There were some things I won't say there was anything that really took me out of the movie. I think there were some edits that weren't as good. Like in the middle, I don't know. It kind of got slow for me, but it picked right back up. So I thought it was a really good movie for Netflix,
Yeah.
and
Oh
you don't see that a lot.
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna give it 5 because I just think it's just a great movie. I do agree with you. I think that there was some like it loses some of it when when it's just Fontaine.
Hmm.
Like you miss Jamie, you miss Yo Yo, you miss them all together.
Yeah,
So that one part when it kind of when he said, "No, I'm just gonna do it me," uh, I'm just gonna do what they asked me to do. Essentially, uh, it you miss the crew, and so
yeah.
when you get them again, you're like, I'm so happy to see them again. I'm so happy that they're back. But um, yeah, I thought it was I can't wait to see what they do with it. If they, hopefully they do something with it. So yeah,
I mean, you would think they would. I mean, I think it's like number one for Netflix right now, so it's obviously successful. I mean, I would think. I don't know how long it's been out, but
I don't know how Netflix measure their success. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I mean, because you pay a subscription, I don't understand. But okay, maybe people viewing it and that equals, hey, see, they're looking at this stuff. Let's make more of this stuff.
yeah.
Maybe. Um, but all right, next week, Brandon, you want to go ahead and tell the people what you have
In
in store?
store because it's our Shark Week annually episode. So we're doing Jaws 2 because there's not a lot of good shark films still left that we haven't touched on. So this is probably the last good shark film, unless Meg 2 is really good. But this would probably be the last really good shark film we review for a while.
Yeah.
Well, it's
The
not
last
really good. It's it's
the
it's
rift
decent.
the rift was it the rift? Is that what's it called?
The Reef.
The reef, yeah, was excellent. It was an excellent shark film. I put that up there with Jaws, like that as far as like a great shark movie.
Mm-hmm.
It had high tension. I thought it was great. But yeah, the other one, the 40 meters down, was trash.
The sequel.
Both of them.
But
I ain't seen the sequel.
you gave a positive review
Yeah,
of the
I
first one.
know, but measuring it against the reef, it's not as good.
Measure it against the sequel, and it'll be right back up for you.
Okay. But yeah, what do we want the people to do? This is Matthew. I've watched movie reaction videos on YouTube. Oh, yeah, cool. I do too. Uh, if you're looking for some good ones, I don't know how you do a language, but Alonda Parker is really good. She's really good. And then uh, uh, what's her name? Mel's World, Mellow World, or something like that. Mellowverse. He's really good too, but he might not can do it because earmuffs. But anyway,
Earmuffs.
Brandon, what do we want the people to do?
Oh, if you like this episode and you want to see more, click that like button, click that share button, subscribe to the Markout Movie Podcast.
And comment.
Oh yeah, I forgot the comment.
Yeah, it's
My
okay.
bad.
That's all right. You got all these Shark Weeks going on. But in the meantime and in between time, Aaron Whitlow.
Brandon Spivey.
Thank you for marking out with us here on the Markout Movie Podcast. You have a good weekend.